So, this is my studio. It's a bit of a mess. This guy here is a guy called Peter Scott. The Pink Panther was based on him. He was a famous jewel thief. He stole Sophia Loren's jewellery and she put a gypsy curse on him on television. A death mask is a cast taken off a dead person. This is Ned Kelly, actually, the famous Australian bushwhacker. When they cast his head, they shaved him and cut his head off. The earliest death masks go back to the Chinchorro Peruvians, 8000 BC. The death mask, you know, it's the final portrait. It's almost as if the person's last breath has solidified into a three-dimensional representation of themselves. By the time I get to mould a deceased person's face, if I'm lucky, they might have been dead for about 3 or 4 days. Generally, it could be a week or 2. In some cases, it's been a year. You know, and I've literally had to chip the ice off them to get to the features. The procedure in doing a death mask is you would have your subject in front of you, and I've coated the whole of their face with a thick rubber. I would then put the plaster on top. I then get a solid mould which I can then pull off, and you can see from the reverse this is the detail that you get. And then from this I would then melt wax and pour wax into this mould, and I would end up with something like this. The next stage is I have to make another mould of this. Once that is all set, that comes off here, and from this I put in wax and take it to a foundry where they will convert it into bronze. Without doubt, one of the most significant death masks that I've done would be that of John Joe Amador, who was a Californian who was arrested in Texas and was sentenced to death for the killing of a taxi driver. I offered to go over there and to do his death mask and then use it as a basis for an exhibition highlighting the horrors of the death penalty in Texas. The sculpture of his death mask is going in the V&A next to Gandhi's spinning wheel. The thing about a death mask is it's quite easy for people to kind of believe somehow, like the Romans and the Greeks did, you know, they believed in animism, that the actual sculpture can house the spirit of the person. And I think people, you know, a little stretch of the imagination, it kind of helps them believe that somehow the person could be there. Also, a death mask is far more tactile than a photograph. It's got weight, it's got form, it's three-dimensional. Every little wrinkle and line is a repository of countless memories. It is a form of immortality. You know, while your mortal remains crumble to the dust, the death mask is there defying time, you know, saying, I was here, here I am.